Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're talking about a Fire King deck profile, Fire King Kaiju actually deck profile. Um, this is a deck. Obviously, you know my logo is the Fire King Island. It used to be Foxfire. This has just absolutely been my favorite archetype. This is the first archetype I really got into. Like, this is the archetype that I fell in love with. Number one favorite archetype overall. So let's get into the deck profile. For starters, team mascot, because he's on the ban list. Blaster, Dragon Ruler of Infernos. Um, so for starters, 3 copies of Fire King High Avatar Garunix. You used to run 2 before Island came to TCG, but now because you can pop him in your hand and he can come right back out due to Island, drawing him is not that bad. 3 copies of Yaksha. There's a pretty cool combo you can do with Island, and it's not really that hard to do, but I'll get to that when I get to Island. 3 copies of Barong. He's the main searcher of the deck. He's extremely slow. Not kind of slow, he's extremely slow, because it searches during the next standby phase, but still very strong because he does search the entire Fire King archetype. But that's it for the Fire King monsters. Only 9. Not running any of the level 3s because Corinne's not really that relevant, and Garunix is only really good for stalling, and there's really no other level 3s to run with it. You could kind of go with like a rank 3 style of play because there are some pretty strong rank 3s in the game, but that's not what I'm going for in this deck. Running 3 copies of Cold Soldier Wolfbark. Can never really draw too many in your hands. You can pop him off with Island. You can summon himself back out, and it's an instant rank 4. We're not running Instant Fusion in this deck because we're running Cold Soldier Wolfbark. If we were running Instant Fusion, probably would still run Wolfbark, but would cut him down at 2. As far as the Kaiju engine is concerned, running 2 of Dorgorgon, the Mad Flame Kaiju, and 2 of Gardara, the Mystery Dust Kaiju. If I had them, this would probably be Gamma Seal, but it's not overly relevant that you have to use Gamma Seal. Even though he has 2700 attack, and so does Big Bird Garunix. But yeah, these are just Kaijus. They, tribute Corinnes and stuff like that. And I'm also proxying one of the Interrupted Kaiju Slumbers. So 2 Interrupted Kaiju Slumbers, 2 targets, so 2 Interrupted Kaiju Slumbers. This is kind of why the deck has synergy. They're level 8s. You activate Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, your Garunix dies, you summon 2 Kaijus, you kill their Kaiju, and then your Garunix comes back next turn. Destruction's always been really strong, so we're running 2 copies of Dark Hole. No real reason to run Raigeki, there's not really any room. 3 Galaxy Cyclone. This could just be Cosmic Cyclone, MST, Twin Twister, just your generic spell and trap removal because the deck doesn't really have any. 1 Supply Squad. I was thinking about running 3 trade-in because I'm running 2 trade-in, but I cut a trade-in for Supply Squad because Supply Squad actually is really strong, and it makes destroying your monsters by battle almost a negative for your opponent. It's actually not, but it's close, almost a negative, and I'm running 2 trade-in because I believe there's 7 targets. Running 2 copies of Onslaught of the Fire Kings, because Kaijus essentially are almost always going to have a monster on your field. You really only want to run 2 because it's only going to be live 2, but this is one of the best reasons you should run this deck because you activate this and it's a free 2700 attack monster, or maybe even a free rank 8 or a free rank 4. 3 copies of Circle of the Fire Kings. The reason we're running 3 is not only is Wolfbark fire, but the entire Fire King archetype is fire, obviously, but also Dorgorgon is fire as well. That's why you have to run that one. If you're running the Kaijus, you have to run Dorgorgon because you have Big Bird on the field, attack with him, activate Circle of the Fire King to special summon out Dorgorgon. So you just attacked with 2700, and usually because of his effect, your opponent doesn't have any monsters, so you attack with 2700 for free, and then 3k for free, and you just destroy your opponent. I used to do that combo before they came out with those with Barong, because Barong could search Circle of Fire Kings, but now it's just even better. 2 copies of Fire Formation Tenki. Only running 2 because there's not really room for more. You don't really need it because Island searches out all of the Beast Warriors except for Wolfbark. And there's so much draw power, and so essentially Tenki usually almost always gets Wolfbark. And then 3 copies of Fire King Island. This deck used to have a horrible first turn play, and it still kind of does, essentially. But now, if you just open Fire King Island in a Yaksha or a Tenki, you can activate Island, pop Yaksha to search Garunix, and then Yaksha's effect will activate, and then you can pop the Garunix you just added in your hand. So that'll get his effect going, and it'll get him on field. And that's really just 2 cards that you need, and you usually start with more than just 2 cards. So unless you're playing some weird kind of game. But that's it for the spells. 3 Call the Haunted. This is for summoning back, well, everything, obviously, because it's called Haunted, but this is going to allow us to do some crazy rank 8 plays. And I was debating on what defensive trap I went with. I cut Boundless because I don't think it's too strong right now. I cut Warning because it destroys, because it takes life points, and I kept Torrential Tribute. Obviously, it's a little bit stronger in this deck because Barong can search off of this, Yaksha can pop a card in your hand off this, and High Avatar Garunix can special summon himself back. But that's it for the main deck, 40 card main deck. That was actually kind of hard to do to make it 40 cards. But on the extra deck, for the rank 8s, I'm running 1 number 38 Titanic Galaxy and 1 number 23 Lancelot. Lancelot, pretty cool way to finish off the game, but he's also a step into Pain Gainer, who's kind of like a Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon with his effect, and he's also a really good way of getting rid of all your opponent's monsters, which this deck is like 100% based around. And then number 77, the Seven Sins. Also, this card's final effect says that if this card would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can detach a card instead, so he can stay on the field with High Avatar Garunix, which is really strong. But that's it for the rank 8s, 11s, and 12s. As far as the rank 4s, pretty generic for Fire Kings. 1 Tiger Kings, searches out tanky, which gives Beast Warriors a huge amount of boost. 2 Diamond Dire Wolf, I like 2 because he can pop other cards in the archetype. One play that I actually did, you can actually do with Diamond Dire, is you can target, let's say you got a Yaksha or a Barong. You can target Barong to pop a card, pop a back row, play Circle to destroy the Barong, and then summon out a monster. And then, so technically, Diamond Dire's first target doesn't have to be destroyed for the second target to get destroyed. So it's a pretty neat combo. And then the rest, fairly generic, like Abyss Dweller, Gaga Cowboy, 101. Maestro kind of has synergy because you can detach to keep him alive or her alive. Gaga Samurai for game. Karagorgon to just because he's a really good card. Ragana Zero because he's pretty strong against Unisys. Number 18 because he's pretty strong against Unisys. And Photon Pavilion. This probably actually should be Castel. But that's it for the extra deck, and that's it for the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoy this. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and have a great day.
Last night took a L, but tonight I bounce back. Wake up every morning, by the night I count stacks.